Hi there, in this video we are going to discuss retinoblastoma gene or the governor of cell cycle. So previously in the hallmarks of cancer we discussed that the cancer cell or the tumors become insensitive to the growth inhibitory signals. So retinoblastoma is basically a tumor suppressor gene. It is a tumor suppressor gene, or you can say it provides growth inhibitory signals to the cells. However, the cancer cell becomes insensitive to the retinoblastoma. So, retinoblastoma is the first discovered tumor suppressor gene, and in order to mutate its function, its both allele should be dysfunctional, which is called Knudsen two-hit hypothesis. This hypothesis states that if there is one functional allele of retinoblastoma function will be normal. However, when both alleles are lost, then its function will be abnormal, and this loss of allele can be sporadic, and both alleles can be lost sporadically without any genetic predisposition. However, in the individuals which have a genetic predisposition to retinoblastoma, their one allele is mutated, and this allele is located on the chromosome 13. Or so in familial cases, the one allele is mutated already, and the sporadic mutation of the second allele leads to the development of retinoblastoma as well as other carcinomas linked to the retinoblastoma gene. So as it is evident that one functional allele is sufficient to cause its normal functioning, it follows the autosomal dominant pattern of inheritance. Okay. So, retinoblastoma gene does not only cause retinoblastoma, the tumor of the retina, but it also causes the other tumors. For example, it has involvement in breast carcinoma, it has involvement in osteosarcoma, which is bone tumor, and so on. So, it is also involved in the small cell carcinoma of the lungs. So, it is involved in multiple carcinomas. So, it is one of the principal tumor suppressor gene which gets mutated and leads to the development of multiple kinds of tumors and cancers. Okay, so how does it function? Retinoblastoma exists in two forms. One it is active form and one its inactive form. It is active when it is hypophosphorylated, or you can say when it is not phosphorylated or hypophosphorylated, it is active. And in its active state, what does it do? It stops cell cycle, as it is a tumor suppressor gene. So when it is in activated state, it stops the cell cycle. And how does it stop the cell cycle? It stops cell cycle at the G1S checkpoint. This G1S checkpoint is very important checkpoint of the cell. We know that cell cycle processes through the G1 phase, and then S phase, and then G2 phase, and then comes the mitotic phase. Okay, so this G1 to S transition is very important, because when cell enters the S phase, it is committed to divide. So as the cell is G1 phase, it can go into G0 phase as well. If the cell is abnormal, it can enter into G0 phase and can lead to the apoptosis, as well as can stay in the G0 phase for indefinite time. So when it has entered to S phase, it will divide always. Okay, so this checkpoint is highly important, and retinoblastoma regulates this checkpoint. This transition from G0 to S phase requires a complex. G0 to S phase transition requires a protein complex which is called cyclin E and cyclin dependent kinase 2 complex, or cyclin E CDK2 complex. This complex is mandatory for G1 to S transition. What retinoblastoma do? When retinoblastoma is hypophosphorylated and it is active, it stops G1S transition by holding E2F family of the transcription factor. These are the specific transcription factor which lead to the translation and production of cyclin E proteins. Okay, so activated retinoblastoma stops G1S transition by holding E2F family of transcription factor. When it holds this family of transcription factor, cyclin E is not produced, and when cyclin E is not produced, this complex is not formed, and when this complex is not formed, G1S transition does not occur. Okay, so in its activated form, it leads to the down-regulation of cyclin E and stop the cell cycle. However, if it is phosphorylated or hyperphosphorylated, use the term hyperphosphorylated, then it becomes inactive. When it becomes inactive, E2 transcription factor is released, and this E2 transcription factor goes to the nucleus, lead to the production of cyclin E. Cyclin E and CDK2 complex is formed and G1S transition occurs. So remember, retinoblastoma is a tumor suppressor gene. When this tumor suppressor gene is active with its hypophosphorylated form, it stops G1S cycle. How it stops? It stops by holding E2F transcription factor, and when E2F transcription factor is not available, cyclin E is not produced. When cyclin E is not produced, cyclin E CDK2 complex is not formed, and this complex, when it is not formed, G1S transition does not occur. Okay, so when it is inactivated or hyperphosphorylated, E2F transcription factor is released, cyclin E is formed, and CDK2 and cyclin E complex is formed, and G1S transition occurs. So it is the basic mechanism through which retinoblastoma works. Moreover, it is also interlinked to the DNA deacetylase enzyme as well as methyl transferase enzyme, which lead to the methylation and the changes in the promoter sequence of the E2F transcription factors. And even if some amount of E2F transcription factor is produced, the retinoblastoma makes the promoter insensitive of this transcription factor, and cyclin is not produced. So it is basically, on one side it is holding this transcription factor, and on the other side it is also making its promoter sequence on the DNA insensitive to the transcription factor. So when it becomes activated and when it becomes inactivated. So it becomes inactive when there are growth signals. When there are growth signals which want cell to divide. This growth signal can be in the form of epidermal growth factor as well as platelet-derived growth factor, which are called mitotic growth signals. When a cell receives these signals, what happens? There is upregulation of cyclin D, and when cyclin D is upregulated, it leads to the formation of cyclin D, cyclin dependent kinase 4 and 6 complex. Okay, so when a cell receives growth signals in the form of epidermal growth factor or platelet-derived growth factor, cyclin D is produced, and this cyclin D combines with cyclin D kinase or cyclin dependent kinase 4 and 6, and a complex is formed which is cyclin D K4-6 complex. What this complex does? This complex hyperphosphorylate the retinoblastoma. It hyperphosphorylates retinoblastoma. When retinoblastoma becomes hyperphosphorylated, what happens? It becomes inactive, and this whole process occurs and cell cycle occurs. So growth signal make it hyperphosphorylated. However, the inhibitory signal make it hypophosphorylated, and these inhibitory signals can be in the form of these inhibitory signals present in the form of transforming growth factor beta as well as P53 protein, and there can be other factors as well. Okay, when there are these inhibitory signals, what happen? They activate an enzyme which is called CDKN2A. Okay, these inhibitory signal activate an enzyme which is CDKN2A. Here you can say this is the gene and its product is P16. Okay, this P16 is inhibitory to cyclin D and this complex. Okay, so these inhibitory signals lead to the activation of CDKN2A genes, which whose product is P16 or protein 16 you can say, and it inhibits this complex, and when this complex inhibited, a retinoblastoma remains hypophosphorylated and it is active and it stops the cell cycle. Moreover, there are also a specific gene which is in the form of CDKIs or CD kinase inhibitors you can say, and these CDKIs or inhibitors are also responsible for inhibiting the activity of this complex and phosphorylation of the retinoblastoma. So in this way, basically the activity of retinoblastoma is being regulated. When there are growth signals, it become when there are growth signals, it becomes hyperphosphorylated, and it becomes hyperphosphorylated by cyclin D CDK4-6 complex, and when it is hyperphosphorylated, it is inactive and cell cycle occurs. When there are inhibitory signal in the form of TGF beta or P53 or CDKN2A gene product or CDKI gene product, and these inhibitory signal inactivate this complex and it remains hypophosphorylated, and when it becomes hypophosphorylated, it is active, and in this way it is hold the A2F and there is no cell cycle. What happen in case of cancer? In case of carcinoma development or mutation, retinoblastoma becomes mutated either in itself and becomes activated, or there is some mutation in the inhibitor pathway, or there is overactivation of the activation of cyclin D. Okay, so either inhibition or the defect of the retinoblastoma itself, or overactivation of the cyclin D gene, or down regulation of its inhibitors, or there is down regulation of CDK and 2A. All these can contribute to the development of carcinoma. So now we come toward the diagram here, which is given in the text here. So you can appreciate if I can a bit zoom here. Okay, zoom is not happening. You can see this is the growth factor in the form of epidermal growth factor and platelet derived growth factor, and this growth factor came, they activated the cyclin D and CDK4A. Moreover, they also increased the cyclin E and CDK2, and the hypophosphorylated retinoblastoma, and when the hyperphosphorylated retinoblastoma, it released E2F. These E2F bind to DNA and lead to the production of cyclin E, and then the S phase started. However, when came inhibitory signal in the form of TGF, beta and P53 or other, they activated CDK inhibitor P16, and what happened? They got inactivated cyclin D and CDK4/6 complex, and retinoblastoma stayed inactive, or it stayed hypophosphorylated or active. And what it happened? It holded A2F gene family, and moreover, histone methyl transferase got active and histone deacetylase got activated. And what happened? There was transcription block and G1S transition does not occur. So it was the functioning of retinoblastoma, or the governor of cell cycle. So here you can see these are principal defect site. Defect can be in retinoblastoma, it can be in CDK4, it can be in cyclin D, or it can be in P16, which is the product of CDK and 2A. So different diseases target this retinoblastoma, and different viruses also target this retinoblastoma. For example, human papilloma virus, it produces a E7 protein which bind to hypophosphorylated form of retinoblastoma and prevent it from inhibiting E2. Hypophosphorylated form was active and it usually bind to E2F, but what happen when it bind to E7 protein? It does not bind to E2F, and this pathway there is then transition from G1 to S cycle and cell cycle occurs, so it lead to the production of cancer tumors. So it was all about today's lecture. Thank you.